Welcome into Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and boy, oh boy, does it feel good we're going to call it the middle of November to be getting ready to talk about the Seattle Seahawks and the playoff picture. Now, I understand that after last week's game against the Rams that there might be a sour taste in some people's mouths. There are some people that just think the sky is falling. There are even some people that think we need to move on from Sam Darnold. I'm not one of those people. And I'm here to kind of quiet the noise, steady the ship, and let everybody else know that it's all going to be okay. The Seahawks have a real darn good shot at getting into the playoffs this year in the NFL. When we look at ESPN's NFC playoff chances right now, your Seattle Seahawks are in that fourth spot. Now, this doesn't say they're going to be based in these positions based off of seeding. What ESPN is doing here is they're looking at the strength of schedule that the rest of the teams have the rest of the way. Seattle has a little bit more difficult of a strength of schedule than, say, San Francisco. Rams already in a good position as well. So this is not saying that the 49ers would be ahead of the Seahawks necessarily. This would be saying that the Seahawks are just a slightly bit behind the 49ers when it comes to percent chance to get in. I mean, shoot, at this point, 87%. I would say that the Seahawks basically are already in. The only reason the 49ers are ahead of them is because they have more in-division wins right there, so they own a little bit more tiebreakers. You got to be pretty darn excited if you're a Seahawks fan. You were supposed to be the worst team in the division, at least according to the experts, not this expert. But I do think that the Seahawks are going to find a way to keep marching. Not only are they going to make it into the playoffs, I think we're going to get a couple of playoff games. Don't jinx it, though. Help me out. Go smash that thumbs up button. Like the video. Don't jinx the Seahawks getting into the playoffs. You want them to get in. I want them to get in. Hit that like button. Don't jinx it. So right now, here's your current NFC playoff picture. Right? So your division leaders, you have the Eagles, and they are the NFC conference leaders as well. They're leading over in the East. The Rams, because of their victory over us, they are now the second seed and the NFC West winner. The Bears right now are in that third spot, and believe it or not, they are leading the NFC North, which is a bit surprising. Tampa Bay, they're leading the South because, well, someone has to. Seahawks are the number one team in the NFC Wildcard, trailed closely behind by the Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the other two teams that I would say are in the hunt and actually have a real chance at potentially getting in, making some noise, that would, of course, be the Detroit Lions. And, again, weird to say this, but potentially the Carolina Panthers. Shout out Meow Mix. Once they gave up their podcast, all of a sudden the Panthers started figuring it out. I didn't include anybody else because, in my eyes, the Cowboys, the Vikings, they're just not going to win enough games to go on a real run. Now, you might be saying to yourself, hey, cool, Will, we got into the wild card. Yeah, we're one of the top-ranked teams, but we'd have to go and play Tampa Bay, a team that already beat us. Well, don't count yourself out yet for winning the entire NFC. If you look at the odds over in Vegas right now, your Seahawks do have the fourth highest odds there. Obviously, Eagles 1, Rams 2, Lions 3. And then Seahawks in that fourth spot. Now, why are the Eagles and Rams higher? Well, because the Rams beat you. They have more tiebreakers in the division. You're going to have to beat the Rams and then get a little bit of help as well. And right now, the Eagles, they control their own destiny. If they win every single game the rest of the way, man, no one's passing them. It doesn't even matter. That said, I don't know if anyone will run the table. Maybe the Seahawks. Maybe. Hopefully. Fingers crossed. We'll see there. But it does say that the Seahawks are in a pretty good spot, and a lot of people, experts, are starting to think a lot higher of our Seattle Seahawks. I do want you to let me know, do you think the Seahawks can win a playoff game this year in 2025? A lot of people kind of going downwards on Sam Darnold, saying he can't win the big one, seems to wilter in big moments. I think that Sam's going to get it figured out, going to get it fixed. Same with OC Clint Kubiak and head coach Mike McDonald. I like the way you looked against the Rams. I think the Seahawks win a playoff game. I think they win multiple. Now, when you look at your Week 12 matchup, the Seahawks are, well, the big favorites against the Tennessee Titans. You should come away with a victory there. That's going to put you at 8-3 on the season, which I do believe is massive because when you look at the rest of the schedule after the Titans game, your final 6 games, you're playing a Minnesota Vikings team that has been struggling with a rookie quarterback. He's figuring it out, McCarthy, but he's clearly going through some rookie struggles. The Atlanta Falcons, they are going to their backup quarterback for the rest of the year. They have not looked good. Our chat sports host for the Falcons, Moose, has been walking around with a Fire Raheem Morris shirt. That doesn't bode well for them. Colts are pretty darn good, although maybe a little bit of a Cinderella shoe is starting to turn back into a pumpkin. Those things happen from time to time. You're going to get your big matchup again against the Rams. Then you're getting the Panthers, frisky team for sure. And then you're getting a 49ers team that, well, everyone is injured on that team except for Christian McCaffrey. They are still, kind of fixing some things. They're doing okay. They've been able to tread water, but I feel like you're in a pretty good spot to win a bunch of games, build up that confidence going into week 15, and then you got 4 games for the rest of your lives. When I look at this season, I think the Seahawks just need to win, and it's going to take care of the rest. If you win out, you're getting into the playoffs for sure. And I know this is going to sound bad, because as a Seahawks fan, we got burned by it last year. There's only been one team since the NFL has expanded their playoffs that has won 10 games that didn't make it into the postseason. That, of course, was us last year. I think you get to that 10-win mark, you are going to be just fine getting into the playoffs this year, but I don't think the Seahawks are going to win 10 games. I think they are going to win much more than that. In fact, before they play the Colts, they might be at that 10-win mark. What do you think? Do you think the Seahawks can run the table? I've been pretty open. I think they have a real shot at it. I think they are in a position where they really could. And maybe it's because I'm biased, but I really do think that they could win every game the rest of the way on their schedule. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. Well, if they don't win every game the rest of the way on their schedule, maybe they lose one. It happens. Every once in a while, teams lose a game here and there. I do want to look at, can the Seahawks win the division? Do they have to be perfect to win the division, or can they have a moment where they stub their toe every once in a while? We're going to get into that in just a moment, but first I got to let you know about my good friends over at PrizePicks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with PrizePicks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on PrizePicks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections. If your picks are right, you can cash in. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. PrizePicks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on PrizePicks. I have a little 3-pick power play for this weekend's action. Cam Ward, less on his pass yards. JSN, more on his receiving yards. Rashid Shaheed, more on his receiving yards. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. So we dive into the current NFC West standings, and obviously the Seahawks are not just a game behind the Los Angeles Rams, but really you're a game and a half behind the Rams because, well, if you end up being tied with the Rams, let's say they lose to the Buccaneers, it's possible. Really good teams have done it. You yourself have done it. And you beat the Tennessee Titans, we beat the Tennessee Titans, then the Seahawks would still be trailing the Rams in the division. I think that you can get the division lead back. I think there are some people who look at this life as glass half full, some that look at it as glass half empty. I am definitely a glass half full type of a person. You look at your next 3 games, we already went through it. You're playing the Titans, they suck. Vikings, they suck. And you're playing the Atlanta Falcons. Hey, guess what? They also suck. So right now, you're 7-3. I think there's a real world where you are 10-3 going into that Colts game. If you go 500 the rest of the way, let's say you win the 2 in-division games, you lose the 2 out-of-division games, that's putting you at 12-5. And in my eyes, that might be just good enough to win the NFC West. Now, right now, when you look at the odds to win the NFC West, well, you shouldn't be the favorite, right? It goes Rams, then Seahawks, 49ers. There's a clear distance between the Seahawks and the 49ers. And then, let's just be honest, the Cardinals are already looking at mock drafts. They're looking at who they can come in, pick up, should they trade Kyler Murray or not, because they have no shot at winning the division. I think if you go out and you beat the Rams week 16 at home, under the arches, in Lumen Field, the Hawks Nest gets loud. It gets rowdy. Afterwards, everyone parties, goes to showgirls. Oh, only if you're of age. I think you're going to be just fine. I think that the Seahawks have a real shot of winning this division. I've looked at the Rams' schedule. I don't see them going 100% through it. Even if they lose to you, I still see another loss or two on that schedule. So what's most important if you're the Seahawks? Handle your own business. Beat the Titans badly. Beat the Vikings badly. Beat the Falcons badly. And continue that run, because I do think you have a real shot at running the table. If you win the division, you're getting at least one home game in Lumen Field. I understand that Mike McDonald's record hasn't been fantastic since he took over the team at home. It's better this year. He has a winning record this year at home. So he's starting to figure it out, and so is this team. You're telling me that Lumen wouldn't be rocking if this Seahawks team got a home game, 2 home games in the playoffs? Ain't no way. It would be louder than what was going on at T-Mobile Park. It would be louder than back when the Beastquake happened and Marshawn Lynch set off an earthquake. I think that Lumen Field would be rocking. People would be excited. 50-year anniversary, team gets to the postseason. Heck yeah, that's a ticket that would be hard to get. Just find a way to keep winning, man. The Seattle Seahawks will be just fine. The Seattle Seahawks are going to be just fine. Follow me over on social media at Will Ortner, both on Twitter and on Instagram. Not only am I, well, maybe I'm a little bit handsome. At least my mom thinks so. You're going to get a lot of Seattle Seahawks updates as well. Whenever there's breaking news around the team or you just want an opinion, I'm here to offer it. So make sure you go and follow me at both of those spots. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.